Hello and welcome to Hooked on True Crime, the podcast where we unravel the clues, tie up the loose ends, and when no victim becomes a footnote to somebody else's story with your host, Ellie Downing.
And Sarah Downey.
Hello.
And True Crime Dog, who is here with us.
Ruby Ribbons. How are you?
I am fabulous. For all of our YouTube watchers, look what my moustache does now. That's right, baby. Oh, it curls.
It just looks silly at the minute.
It's fabulous. I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you going to make it go all the way in a curl?
Yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to look like Biggles.
Yeah, you should get you some goggles.
Fabulous. And look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Moustache is getting longer every day.
I was thinking for our YouTube subscribers, I feel like we need to say what we do because they might not know. So you tell me a story.
And you crochet.
Usually, and I crochet something, which ties into my YouTube channel.
It does.
So check that out if you're into the crochet or the crafts.
Hooked on True Craft. Crochet.
Yeah. HOTC crochet.
That's right.
That's what I'm working on today. It's going to be beautiful. It's got beads. It's going to be stunning.
It's very nice.
So that's enough of the crochet because this is the crime channel.
This is the Crime Channel.
So what have you got for me this week?
Well, I am going to talk about another French prison escape using the helicopter.
This is number 2, and
Yes.
it's going to stay at number 2. Or you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be a series of.
There might be a third.
French as well.
Yeah,
They're very good at escaping.
French
prison.
people love escaping from prison with a helicopter.
Okay.
And actually, I might even talk about 2 today, because I think we should start with the OG, for the first ever helicopter escape from a French prison, which was on the 27th of February, I think, all the way back in 1981.
Oh, that's not actually as far back as I would have assumed. I was thinking the 70s maybe.
For a
I
helicopter.
know that the 80s is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But, I was kind of figuring it might have been the 70s. Okay.
80s.
80s, all right then.
And it was 33-year-old Gérard Dupri and 41-year-old Daniel Beaumont.
Okay.
They were both serving long sentences for armed robbery in the Fleury-Mérogis prison in the suburbs of South Paris.
Okay. Do you have to apologise for your pronunciation?
Oh, God, yes. I'm sure there's something later as well that will butcher. Both men were also hardened career criminals and gangsters. But in the early afternoon of the 27th, Gerard and Daniel were on the prison football pitch playing a game of football with dozens of other inmates. However, their eye was not on the ball, but on the sky.
Something is incoming.
Yes, at the same time, 2 men, one of whom was a gangster named Henri Pribet, rented a helicopter from a small Paris airfield that I have no chance of pronouncing correctly, the Issy-les-Moulineaux heliport.
Sounded okay.
It sounded okay to you, yeah.
To my Essex ears sounded fine.
They chartered the aircraft to fly to Orléans, but once in the air, one of the men pulled out a pistol and held it to the 48-year-old pilot, Claude Forson's head.
Head?
Yeah, to his head.
Oh. I thought his name was Claude Poisson's head.
No, I had problems pronouncing his name, so the flow of the sentence got a bit disrupted.
Okay, so gun to the head.
Yeah.
Following.
He said, "Don't do anything foolish. Your wife and your daughter are in the hands of our friends."
They're not, are they?
No, they weren't. And also he was French, so I suppose he said, "Do not do anything foolish. Your wife and your daughter are in the hands of our friends."
My apologies.
We may have to cut that out.
You sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's not like a French man now. It's gone all Arnie.
Anyway, he ordered Claude to fly low over Paris towards the prison. Gerard and Daniel heard the helicopter coming. When it touched down on the football pitch in the prison, they were already running towards it. There were no guards outside to stop them.
Why not?
Because this is the 1980s. Nobody's expecting a helicopter to land in a prison and fly away.
That should be supervised. They're crims. What have these crims done, by the way?
They were armed bank robbers.
Both of them?
Yes.
So they've been friends for a long time?
Yeah. But even if there had been guards, The helicopter was in the air again 30 seconds after it landed. It was proper quick.
Yeah.
A police and an army helicopter were scrambled to try and follow, but by that time, the fugitives had already landed 10 minutes away on another football pitch at Jules Nouvel Stadium, close to the southern entrance to Paris. Over 30 school children who were using the football pitch watched the helicopter land, and 4 men, one waving a pistol, jump out.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah.
That's a school trip and a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, the last time when we did the last prison, wasn't there a whole lot of school
University
children?
students.
It was university, yeah.
So the 2 hijackers and the 2 fugitives ran to a waiting green Renault,
Mhm.
very apt car,
Yeah.
and sped off, making their escape. They left the pilot, Claude, unharmed, but shaken by the ordeal.
You would be, wouldn't you?
Yeah. However, Gerard Dupree and Daniel Beaumont had a problem. And it's a problem which every person who escapes prison and makes the authorities look, if not stupid, then certainly unprepared.
Yeah.
And that was that the police were very keen on getting them back into prison as quickly as possible.
Now, so how successful are they going to be?
Very successful.
Oh, no.
First, less than 7 days after the escape, they had tracked down Gerard. He was hiding out in an eastern suburb of Paris, along with his accomplice, André Privé, and an unnamed woman.
They've always got a woman, a side piece, haven't they?
Yeah.
They always go to the side piece.
Police had the hideout under heavy surveillance for 2 days before the arrest, which didn't go exactly to plan. Gerard and André were in the street outside the address when they noticed the armed police moving in to apprehend them. Both men pulled out pistols and began firing at the police in the crowded street,
Oh, dear.
hitting one officer in the leg. French police returned fire, wounding Gerard several times before he gave himself up. André was also wounded, but superficially, and he fled down the street with a bullet in his leg and was apprehended after he tried to hide in a cabinet maker's shop.
Oh, I love it. That sounds like it's an olden day thing. doesn't
Cabinet
it?
maker.
No, I can't even imagine that in the 80s.
I know, it's brilliant, isn't
I
it?
grew up in the, well, you know, I grew up in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I find that, I don't think there was any cabinet maker shops.
No, I can't think of a cabinet maker's shop.
But there was butchers and bakers,
Yeah.
candlestick makers, and a cabinet maker's shop.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's one of the men who escaped and one of the men who helped them escape, apprehended.
But I think this is, from what we've learnt so far, from the last case and this one so far, is it's so much more bother than it's worth escaping prison. You may as well just stay in prison until your time's up, otherwise you get more time.
Yeah, it's true. And the other escapee, Daniel Beaumont, was arrested 2 weeks later at another known gang hideout. But they were the first men to escape a French prison in a helicopter.
But not the last.
No, but absolutely not the last. As I said in the last episode, I think there were 11 successful escapes since this first one till now.
They've always, well, these ones you're talking about are the helicopter ones.
Yeah,
11 with helicopters.
11 successful helicopter escapes. And there's something like 18 attempted.
And I want to know if you've found any with a chisel and a cape yet.
Not yet, no. But what would you say if I told you that 3 of those 11 successful escapes involved the same man?
I'm not going to be surprised at this point.
No. So let's move on to the main event of today's episode, Pascal Payet, the most prolific helicopter escapee, and the man who holds the world record for the most number of escapes by helicopter from prison.
It's just, his preferred way is helicopter. So how, when we got to the 3rd successful helicopter escape, had they not realised that he really likes helicopters? After the second one, you would have thought, oh, maybe we'll put something in place the helicopter can't land. And
you would. Well, as you'll see, actually, although I say 3 escapes, one of them he actually breaks into prison in a helicopter.
Yeah, why?
We'll get there. It's great. So Pascal Payet was born on July the 7th, 1963, in Montpellier, southern France.
Yeah.
When he was a child, the family lived for a short time in Lyon, but it was his teenage years living in Marseille that would shape Pascal's criminal future.
Okay.
Marseille was a port city with a history of organised crime that went back hundreds of years. And it was one of the main inroads for drugs into France in the 1980s. Unemployment was staggeringly high, and Marseille had one of the highest rates of drug-related violence in the country, as disenfranchised young men tried to make money amidst the towering apartment blocks and narrow streets.
Well, it sounds like London.
It is quite a lot like London, yeah. We've been there.
Yeah, we have been to Marseille. Yeah, that's true. I didn't see very much of it.
No, neither did I.
You were working.
I was working, and when I wasn't working, I was in our hotel room. Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
Yeah, we didn't go very far. Mind you, there was riots in Marseille at that point.
There were, yeah. It's true.
So it's probably safer to be in the hotel at that point.
Yeah, it was.
Time.
With the shopping centre across the road, which didn't serve white wine.
Yeah, how strange is that? Maybe someone could explain that to us
Well, in France.
In France.
Anybody listening in France is already tuned out because of my French accent.
We apologise very much for that. If there is someone still listening, why, when we go to, it was an organic supermarket, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So quite a posh supermarket. But they had every sort of wine and loads of champagne, loads and loads of champagne. But no actual white wine.
No.
No French white wine. There was red wine, champagne.
Rosé.
Absolutely no white wine.
Very
still
weird.
White wine. Yeah. Strange. Just wondering.
Anyway, getting back to the story, Pascal may have started small with petty theft and small-time drug dealing, but as is often the case, it would lead him into France's more organised criminal underworld. His first conviction was in 1988, when he was 24 years old for aggravated assault.
Oh dear, that's quite something, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's your first conviction is for something horrible.
That was his first conviction, and he got 12 months, although he served slightly less than that.
Yeah.
But while he was in, he made connections and friends, which would help him to escalate his criminal career. In 1993, he was convicted of conspiracy to commit armed robbery and was sent back to prison again, this time for a longer sentence. When Pascal was released again, he made even deeper connections to Marseille's criminal gangs and was now a familiar face and a big player in the city's organised crime.
Oh dear.
By 1997, Pascal and his crew were ready to move to the proverbial big time. They were planning to rob an armoured bank van at gunpoint.
Okay, that never goes well, though.
No. In the morning of the 20th of November, an armoured cash transport truck left the Banque de France building in Salon de Provence.
Okay, it was easier than robbing the bank, I imagine.
Yeah, it was. Pascal and his accomplices were waiting in ambush for the truck at a crossroads on the scheduled route. Two of those accomplices were Eric Alborio and Michel Valero. When the truck stopped at the crossroads, the men sprung the trap. Jumping out from their hiding places, they sprayed the vehicle with bullets from their automatic rifles. One of the guards from the truck was shot and killed during the shooting.
How terrifying.
Absolutely.
Terrifying end to a life, isn't it?
And witnesses would later testify that it had been Pascal Payet who had fired his Kalashnikov at the dead guard.
Okay, he deserves to be in prison.
Absolutely. But he didn't get off unscathed. He was shot in the leg by one of the guards.
Well, good.
The robbery was a success in the sense that the crew got away with the money. But Pascal had not only been identified by witnesses, but identified as the killer.
Yeah.
From the point of view of the police, this put Pascal in a new category of criminality, one willing and proven to use lethal force in the execution of his crimes. From the point of view of the criminal underworld, it put Pascal on a bigger pedestal and gained him what gangsters care about most, fear and respect. It also gained him a new nickname, Kalashnikov Payet.
Wow, it's not very catchy, is it?
No, it's not.
So now he's got credibility.
Yes, he does. He's got clout in the underworld. And he managed to evade the authorities for more than a year before they finally tracked him down on the 22nd of January, 1999. Along with Eric Alborio, he was arrested at a gang hideout in Paris.
Good.
Yeah.
Lock him up.
Yeah, he is a dangerous
Throw away
man.
the key. And don't let any helicopters anywhere near him.
The charges against Pascal were as serious as they were irrefutable: armed robbery, conspiracy, and murder. While awaiting trial, he was put in Louvain's prison in southern France.
Okay.
The facility was high security, with towering walls and layers of checkpoints in and out. It was also in the middle of nowhere, so that in the event of an escape, there were very few places for fugitives to hide out.
Good.
Justice, though, is not always swift, as we know, and Pascal had nothing but time waiting for his trial.
So he's going to plan an escape.
Exactly. He used that time to study the layout of the prison and memorize the guards' patrol patterns. Eventually, he noticed something that the designers of the prison had apparently overlooked. The facility was built to be near impossible to climb out of or tunnel out of, but there were no deterrents to simply flying out of the prison.
No. Well, seeing as he's going to be the first person to do it, they are not set up for this opportunity.
No, they could be forgiven on his first attempt. It's true. Pascal spent months planning and preparing. He worked out the best place for a helicopter to land, where there were no direct lines of sight to the watchtowers, and only one door between where he would be and the prison yard. He also spent months or longer lulling the guards into a false sense of security. He was careful to be a model prisoner, never causing trouble, and always being quiet, deferential. When he had it all worked out, Pascal began to implement his plan by coordinating the escape from the inside of the prison. Because he was seen at that time as a minimal risk, he had phone privileges, and he used them to work out details and give orders through coded conversations with his accomplices on the outside.
Oh dear. So they're not monitoring the calls?
They're not monitoring the calls, but the guards did notice an increase in the amount of time he spent on the phone leading up to the escape.
Yeah.
But,
suspicious.
Yeah, but at the time they thought very little of it, as his trial would have been approaching, and he could have been talking to friends about that.
Yeah, he could have been researching the law and how to get off this charge.
It could have been.
But he's not. He's not using his brain for good, is he?
No. Hashtag narrator's voice. Then, finally, the day was upon him.
Yep.
On October the 12th, 2001, an airfield just outside of Marseille, two men walked past the hangars dressed as mechanics. Soon the men found what they were looking for, a helicopter with a pilot nearby. They threatened the pilot with a pistol, and minutes later, the blue SA-360 Dolphin helicopter was lifting off with the pilot held at gunpoint.
Oh dear.
The two men gave the pilot specific flight instructions. Stay low, avoid radar, and ignore any radio calls, and head for the Louvain's prison. The helicopter appeared over the prison at 11:15 a.m. and without warning dropped straight into the yard where Pascal had instructed them to land.
But how's Pascal going to get out?
Well, inside the prison, Pascal and another prisoner, Frederick Mpoko, had heard the helicopter land and were already running towards the one security door, which led to the yard. The two hijackers leapt out of the helicopter. One stayed close to the aircraft with his gun pointed at the pilot, and the other, carrying an automatic rifle, ran to the security door and opened it from the outside.
No, it wasn't very secure then, was it? That security door?
Well, they're designed to be
open from the outside.
Open from the outside,
not from the inside.
Pascal and Frederic bolted through the door and across the yard, followed by the accomplice. Everyone jumped into the helicopter, and it took off immediately.
Has anybody ever been in a helicopter before?
No, I don't think so.
So what happened? Can you imagine though?
The pilot will have been.
Yeah, obviously. But if you'd arranged that and you suddenly realised you were absolutely terrified of heights.
That's true, yeah.
Could have happened, couldn't it?
Yeah.
I bet that's happened before.
Yeah, but they're hardened criminals. They're not scared of much.
Well, they're not going to say they're scared of much.
That's true.
But they might have weaved themselves a little bit. Same.
Understandable. The whole escape had taken just minutes, and the guards on the ground had no time to react. The armed guards in the watchtowers were equally impotent, since the helicopter had landed precisely where none of them had line of sight or a clean shot.
Gosh. That's just luck rather than
No, he planned it.
Yeah, but you've got someone flying the helicopter for you. It's not like
That's true, yeah.
you
But
can
Pascal
exactly
had
say.
worked out exactly where he wanted them to land,
Yeah.
and they landed there. So, still flying low to avoid radar, the helicopter traveled to a prearranged location where a van was waiting to collect the crew.
I hope there were loads of school children there as well.
I don't think there were. No.
Standard
It was
now.
like an abandoned car park. They abandoned the helicopter and again left the pilot unharmed.
Good.
The escape made national and international news, and French authorities were criticised for allowing 2 inmates from what was supposed to be a high security prison just fly away.
Yeah. I bet there was just like so many people on the phone from inside the prison going, "You got anyone that got a helicopter?"
Yeah. The police launched a nationwide manhunt for the 2 men, and Frédéric Impoko was found and arrested 6 days later, on the 18th of October, in a flat in Paris. Pascal Payet would not be so easy to locate. He disappeared into the French criminal underworld.
Never to be seen again.
No, not never to be seen again.
Oh.
But for over a year, police didn't get so much as a sighting of the elusive fugitive and crime boss. Although a series of armed robberies across southern France were linked to his gang and believed to have been masterminded by Pascal.
Mm.
Then, in early 2003, Pascal decided he would have to come back into the light for at least one more operation.
Oh dear.
2 of his crew from the armoured truck robbery back in 1997 had been arrested and were in prison. Eric Alborio and Michel Valero. What's more, they were being held in the exact same prison that he'd escaped from in southern France.
This is going to be easy then. Easy job.
Yeah, along with another man who Pascal had actually served time with, Frank Arletto.
Owed him a favour or two, did he?
Yeah. So, Pascal was going back to prison, but this time, it would not be as an inmate, it would be as part of the rescue party.
Okay.
Pascal did his homework over the next few months, checking that the prison hadn't installed anti-helicopter nets or high-tension wires as he escaped.
Yeah, they're probably not expecting it to happen again after all the publicity.
No.
That one.
He had someone contact his men on the inside and found out, to his joy, that they were even being held in the same building that he was last time.
Mm-hmm. They know exactly where to land again.
Yeah. Pascal had more than enough money now to hire a helicopter, and find a willing pilot was equally easy. So, at 6:45 a.m. on April the 14th, 2003, another helicopter was flying low towards Louinez prison.
Yeah.
It landed in exactly the same place, and 2 men jumped out and opened the security door.
Oh, they've not even sorted the door out.
Nope.
That would be an easy fix.
Yeah. It was so early this time that the cells were not open yet, so the prisoners were still in their cells this time.
Mm.
But it took less than a minute to open the cells, which contained Pascal's pals. All the criminals ran out of the security door across the yard into the waiting helicopter, as the other inmates cheered from their cells.
Yeah. It's probably very exciting
Yeah.
when you've got day in, day out the same thing.
Yeah.
happening.
Once the prisoners were on board, presumably they high-fived Pascal as the helicopter lifted off and flew off to the east at low altitude.
I just imagine them all wearing aviators and
Yeah.
looking really cool.
The second escape was a near carbon copy of the first, a year and a half ago. If the authorities thought they were criticised after the first escape, they were positively lampooned after the second.
Of course they were.
Why had nothing been changed at the prison?
And did they change it?
Yes, after that. No anti-helicopter defences have been installed, not even an extra watchtower to prevent the exact same thing from happening.
Or a card opening door.
Or a card opening door.
Or a key opening door
Yeah.
on the other side.
So the French police are pissed and launch another nationwide manhunt for the escaped prisoners, and for Pascal Payet, who I suppose is still actually an escaped prisoner as well, technically.
Mm.
Last time, Pascal was able to slip into the underworld by himself, while his buddy Frédéric Impoko was captured within a week. This time, though, he has his full crew with him, and they are all now on the French most wanted list. Also, in the 2 years since his last escape, police digital phone tracking has improved greatly. After 3 weeks of investigation, the police get a break, and they manage to track the phone activity of one of the escapees to a remote farmhouse in the Drôme region of southern France.
That's where you'd be, isn't it? A remote farmhouse.
Yeah,
if you're
the
all going to
middle
be
of
together.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Armed police and SWAT units move in on the farmhouse and find all three of the escapees: Eric Alborio, Michel Valero, and Frank Parletto. More importantly, they find and arrest Pascal Payet. In the farmhouse, they also discover a planning and operations room for organized crime, packed with communications equipment, computers, huge amounts of cash, fake identification documents, and an arsenal of automatic weapons and ammunition.
So not only have they been captured, so that's unsuccessful, now they're giving away half their operational secrets for the underworld and the crimes that they're committing.
Yeah.
So it's never worth it.
I know it's never worth it.
It might be impressive, it might look good, but it's never worth it.
Grasshopper.
Gone, grasshopper now.
Grasshopper gone. So in January of 2005, Pascal Payet finally stood trial for the 1997 armed truck robbery and the murder of the guard. He was given 30 years as a sentence.
Okay, and how long was added for escaping?
In January 2007, he was sentenced to another 6 years for his own escape, the first one, and 7 years for planning the escape in 2003.
Okay, so this is number 2. No, this isn't the third time.
That was number 2.
That was number 2. So this is the third escape that's about to happen now.
Yes.
It's going to do it again.
Yeah.
After how long? How long are they going to be able to keep him in prison before he escapes? Yeah.
The police managed to keep him behind bars for about 4.5 years before he gets out again.
That's a long time to plan something.
It is.
Maybe this one, well, you've already told me this one isn't successful, is it?
No, this one is successful.
Oh, okay. So he successfully escapes and stays out of prison this time.
No, they catch him again.
Now, see, that's my measure of success. It's got to last longer than a few weeks out in a farmhouse.
Success is escaping the prison.
No.
Yes.
No, because then you're on the run, and then imagine how stressful your life is hiding.
Very stressful.
It must be stressful. I mean, the previous prisoner we did had plastic surgery.
He did. Michel Valero.
And he was still got caught.
Yeah.
So, I'm not convinced this is the least stressful way to go about.
It's not. I'm not condoning
doing your
escaping
time.
prison in any way, shape, or form.
No. Just put that on the titles. We do not kind of condone this way of escaping prison. Or escaping anyway.
If you've been affected by any of the issues we've talked about today.
Well, I'm not planning on going to prison, really.
Anyway, Pascal is back behind bars. But the French prison service are taking no bloody chances with him this time.
Good. He needs to go super secure, like the Hannibal Lecter type.
He was classified as the highest risk level for escape.
Right.
He was kept in solitary confinement almost all the time to reduce his interactions with other inmates.
Right, that's not fair, though. I get that there is not a lot of alternatives, but that is extreme.
His phone and mail communications were rigorously monitored.
Rigorously? That's that grasshopper.
That grasshopper. Rigorously monitored.
Yeah, well, now he's gone very Scottish.
And he was frequently randomly transferred between high security prisons to disrupt his routine and hinder planning.
Brilliant, and kept him off the phone.
And they kept him off the phone.
The phone is the baddie here. Yeah. He's using this to communicate with other baddies.
But in late 2005, Pascal managed to publish a letter through an internet blog. It was titled The Saga of My Transfers. And in it, he claimed that his solitary confinement was extreme and unjustified and a breach of his human rights.
I agree.
He also accused the prison service of using constant transfers as a form of psychological torture.
It's difficult to argue against it, though, isn't it? Because it's not fair. Psychologically, it's not fair. They really need to be putting him somewhere very secure where he can still live a life of some description.
Well, they were criticised for moving him around and keeping him in solitary, so they did try and do that. They moved him from the Metz prison where he was to the Grasse prison in the French Alps.
Okay, so far away from society, I'm
Yes.
assuming.
And he was under enhanced special surveillance, which meant he was monitored 24 hours a day and could only poop with a guard standing outside the door.
Okay, but he's still gonna find a way. So this is what is the weakness in this plan?
Well, under this level of scrutiny in a maximum security facility, it would be far harder for Pascal to organize or execute any form of escape.
Yeah.
However, facing 43 years in prison for what he did, he really didn't have much to lose by giving it a go. And that's exactly what he did in 2007.
Yeah, but how? He can't talk to people. He's been monitored all the time. The guards are with him. Is it a guard?
He can't talk to people unless he communicates with them in code through letters.
Right, okay. But they're not looking through these letters and thinking he may be communicating in code here. Let's work out this. It can't be that complicated.
I don't think he actually planned it this time. I think he just said to his gang, break me out of prison on this date.
Oh, okay. And how did that letter read then? Have we got...
I don't have the letter.
Oh, that's a shame.
But he couldn't have picked a more appropriate day for his escape.
Yeah.
Can you guess the date?
July the 4th.
July the 14th.
Oh, the 14th.
Bastille Day. Exactly.
Everybody's going to be busy doing other things.
The national holiday when all of France celebrates the storming of the Bastille prison in 1789.
Okay. I like the irony of it. Very good.
Apart from being incredibly ironic, it was also a day when the streets of every French town and city would be full of revelers. And most importantly, many of the French workforce, including some of the guards at the Grasse prison, would have the day off.
Yeah.
There'd only be a skeleton crew on.
Yeah.
So that morning, 4 men, dressed as tourists, one carrying a sports bag, went into the Cannes Mandelieu airport. They lingered around the helicopter hangars until they saw what they needed: a flight instructor preparing a helicopter for a scheduled flight later that day. The men walked up to the pilot and one of them lifted his jacket, revealing a handgun. They told him to get in and take off.
Fair enough.
Which he did.
Yep, you would.
In the air, one man sat beside him, calmly directing the pilot where to fly, while the others got ready. He would later state that they were precise and businesslike as they loaded automatic weapons and a sawn-off shotgun, and put bulletproof vests on and pulled masks over their faces. At 10:28, the helicopter was flying low towards the Grasse prison from the south. Pascal Payet was in his reinforced and windowless solitary confinement cell on the top floor of the building.
How's he going to get out?
The skeleton staff of guards in the prison were in the process of changing shifts. At 10:31, the helicopter came over the prison and hovered over the empty yard for a few moments. Then it moved forwards and landed on the roof of the main building. 3 men jumped out, armed with the shotgun and automatic pistols. They ran across the roof and into a service hatch, which led to the top floor. They quickly moved through the corridors until they reached the isolation wing where Pascal was being held. A few guards did confront them as they advanced, but they were unarmed except for non-lethal stun guns, and the men moved fast and with purpose.
Yeah.
When they got to Pascal's cell, they breached the cast iron door with explosives and pulled Pascal out through the hole.
Oh, this seems a bit over dramatic. They could have just asked the guard to let him out.
Blow the door! Look, he's a horrible man. I'm not condoning this. But Pascal never asked a question. He didn't even speak during the escape. He just followed the men back through the corridors and up the access hatch to the roof. Once everyone was inside the helicopter, it took off again at 10:34. The whole escape had taken just 3 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
By the time prison security was reported breached, the helicopter was already past the perimeter, below radar altitude and flying southwest. At 11:05, the helicopter landed again, about 38 kilometers away in a secluded car park near Brignoles. The men, including Pascal, scattered, and disappeared on foot amongst the Bastille Day crowds.
What about the helicopter pilot?
They let him go again. He was just left. French police again mobilized to try and recapture Pascal.
This is like a film now. I can imagine it happening, can't you, in a film?
Yeah.
Like they're trying to run through all the crowds. And
Within 48 hours, a European arrest warrant was issued, and Interpol was informed because it was believed that he would flee the country.
that would be more sensible than hiding out in a farmhouse somewhere.
Yeah. For months, there was no sign of Pascal. Then, Spanish police received a tip that he and two of his accomplices were hiding out in Mataró, a small town on the coast of Spain, about 30 kilometers northeast of Barcelona.
How lovely. So who had tipped them off?
I think it was one of his accomplices, but not one of the accomplices from the breakout.
Yeah.
The apartment building was put under intense surveillance, but there was little activity for days. Men came and went from the building, but the apartment was concealed by thick blinds and curtains, which were always closed.
Well, that's suspicious in itself.
In itself, yeah. Especially in sunny France.
Spain?
Especially in sunny Spain. Until late on the 20th of September, a man matching Pascal's description was seen peering out of the windows through the blinds.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning, as the sun came up, the police were in position to go in. The arrest team rushed in and found Pascal Payet and two of the men suspected of helping him escape, Alain Armand and Paris Doisseau. All three were taken into custody without incident.
You probably hate each other by this point.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having to hang out with people you like only vaguely know? Or, I've only done crimes with.
Yeah.
They're probably not particularly great people in the first place. Not exactly family, are you?
No, it wouldn't have been the Sopranos.
No.
The Spanish authorities refused to tell anybody, even the French police, where Pascal was being held. 2 weeks later, though, on the 4th of October, he was extradited back to France.
Why would they not tell him?
In case somebody came and tried to break him out with a helicopter.
They think it was an inside job.
Yeah. When Pascal was back behind bars again in France, they invented a whole new level of escape risk just for him.
Yeah, good.
Constant solitary confinement, no contact with the outside world for years.
Well, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve that, but I still think it's really unkind and psychologically unfair.
Yeah. In June of 2008, he was given an additional 15 years for the 2003 escape and some robberies which he'd committed while on the run. And in April of 2011, he was sentenced to 5 more years for the Bastille escape in 2007. But in April of 2019, because he was now in his 50s, Pascal was granted parole for good behavior after serving just 12 years of these additional sentences. And he had spent more than 30 years behind bars.
He's also probably very expensive to keep behind bars as well.
Yeah. But while on parole, in 2020, Pascal was connected to the extortion of a French businessman. The man had been accosted in the street in Paris and told that he had to pay 400,000 euros to an offshore bank account or his family would be in danger.
Right.
During the investigation, a phone call was recorded by the businessman, which was proved to be Pascal. In this call, Pascal passively threatened the man, telling him to think carefully about the risk to him and his family if the money was not paid. French police managed to trace the call, and in November they arrested Pascal, who was still on parole at the time, along with a number of other men involved in the extortion.
He hasn't changed his spots, this leopard, has he?
No. Pascal was promptly put back into French prison under special enhanced surveillance to serve out the rest of his sentence without the possibility of parole. And Pascal is still in prison today.
Oh, he's still alive?
And will likely die behind bars.
How old is he now?
60-something.
So he's only young when this was all going on, really. What a waste of your life, isn't it? It's such a waste to keep having to hop back inside. I mean, no, it's exciting life, I guess.
Yeah,
get off
it's
on
very briefly exciting. It's exciting for like 20 minutes, and then it's rubbish being on the run for ages.
And because you're still stuck in prison, it's kind of like this you know, some people do something really exciting and they say, oh, I can tell my children, I can tell my grandchildren what happened to me. He's got none of that because he's stuck inside still.
True.
Oh, bizarre.
Although if he wasn't stuck inside, I've escaped prison 3 times in a helicopter is a cool thing to tell your grandkids.
It would be great, yeah, but he doesn't have the chance to live his life because he's spending all his time asleep in prison.
He hasn't got
put back in
grandkids.
prison. Yeah. He's had no life in between.
It's true.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to know how he feels about it all now, whether it was all a mistake. He should have just done his original time that he got the first time.
They should have.
Yeah. And then hoped that he stayed out the limelight for long enough.
Yeah. But there you go. That's the second of our French prison escapees with a helicopter. Just one more to go, and then you'll be through.
No more. That's fine. No. Let's go back to true crime.
The last one's quite exciting. That is crime.
You tell me these are exciting. They're just someone getting picked up with a helicopter. It gets old.
The last guy had nectarine grenades.
Oh, that was quite cool.
And a gun made out of 3 bars of soap with
And
shoe
again,
polish.
we do not suggest that you make any guns out of shoe polish and soap
or nectarine grenades.
No, it's not a great idea. YouTube will ban us for life if anything like that happens.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway, thank you very much. Have you got a Scottish word of the week for me?
I do.
Okay.
Bofen.
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 What does that sound like being sick?
No.
Oh, it's similar though.
Yeah.
Bofen, really bad. Yuck.
Yeah, repulsive.
Taste disgusting.
Yeah.
Is it taste or is it?
Yeah, more of a taste.
Bofen.
It's bofen.
Like
taste or a smell.
Okay. Bofen.
Bofen.
Very nice. I might use that this week.
Why? I don't feed you anything that tastes
like when
bofen.
you had Red Bull does not give you wings, it gives you wind. So that will be bofen.
I smell bofen.
I will remember bofen. So I will. Anyway, that's too much information.
Yeah, it is.
Regardless, if you'd like to join us at CrimeCon in October, we will be there. I think it's the 3rd and 4th of October.
It is, and my moustache should be even longer and curlier by then.
Yeah. News. Anyway, use code HOOKED for 10% off your tickets.
Yes. Thank you very much for joining us. If you've made it all the way to the end of this ridiculous story about French prison escapes.
Yeah.
And we very much hope to see you next crime.
Bye.
And maybe it will be a crime next crime.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I like the crime.
You like the crime? Less of the prison escape.
That's awful, isn't it? I like the crime.
I like the crime.
I like the crime, not the escaping. You don't know what's going on. No dogs were harmed in the making of this video.
Rumi was slightly disgruntled.